I can have all of you in jail right now and ruin all of your lives for the foreseeable future. Do you want me to do that? The principal yelled this at me and my friends after we vandalized the whole school. But you might be wondering, how did we get there to that moment? What did we do? How did we do it? And how did we get caught? This is the story of how I almost went to jail for breaking and entering. Alright, so we were in high school. The time frame of these events were the end of 9th grade all the way to the beginning of 10th grade. United States schooling system, by the way. However, the school we broke into was our middle school. How do we do it? So my friends were still in touch with the middle school sports coach, right? He coached football and basketball, and my friends were in those sports. I didn't really play sports back then. I was too busy doing, other stuff. You see, after 8th grade graduation, the coach would still invite them here and there to the gym to play some basketball games after the school day was finished. And that was it, nothing crazy. Until one day, everything changed. Now it's important that you guys know the names of the friends involved, so you can keep track of who did what. I'm just gonna give them fake names. So we have Jamie, Adrian, Base, Clark, and Sumo. There was also me. And by the end of this, comment who your favorite character was. Alright, back to the story. After a year of them playing basketball in the school gym, one day Jamie left the gym to go use the bathroom, and he noticed something. One of the windows was unlocked and slightly open. He kept this information in his head for a later time, and went back to keep playing basketball. After the basketball session was over, Jamie told everyone about what he saw, and he led them all to the open window. Now the school is surrounded on every side by houses, so anybody can spot them. However, this window was perfect. The school had a little garden connected to it that was fenced off, and in the garden was a little shack that I assume had gardening tools. The window was behind the shack within the fenced garden. That means all we had to do was get into the garden pretty easily, and the cover was there to enter through the window. Alright, so they successfully entered the school. What did they do? Just play some more basketball, that's it, nothing crazy. At least that's how it started. Now remember, I wasn't there in the first few days, as they mainly just used it as a way to keep playing basketball in a decently nice court versus the concrete courts outside that were usually crowded. But they eventually decided to call me and get me in on it too. Once they got bored of playing basketball every day, they decided to move on to different ventures. The swimming pool was right there. That was the new main selling point of breaking in. We would bring swimming shorts, goggles, everything to that pool. So still, although some might disagree, I'd say that was still relatively tame, nothing insane. But things were about to change. At this point, by the way, Clark stopped going to the school that much afterwards. The school became the new hangout spot, all throughout summer break as well. We would go in there and literally just do whatever. Go to the auditorium and just chill, explore different classrooms and areas we've never been. You know what was really fun? The teacher's lounge. Every single teacher's lounge had a fridge that was stacked. I remember this one lounge had a bunch of cinnamon cookies, M&Ms, and apple juice. Yo, I cleaned that out. The main office had a fridge too. They had Sprite, we drank that. They had Hershey bars, we ate that. One of the drawers had a $20 bill in there.
Stole that shit. That's what I do.
No, I'm joking. We didn't actually take the $20 bill. Come on, we're not monsters, all right? We had morals. And then we decided to enter the library. And the library had shelves of books, of course, right? But on top of the shelves were more books, open a little bit so they could stand. Kind of like this. Base's first course of action was to just swing at the top shelf, knocking all the books down. Then, as we get to the next shelf, boom, left-hand hook everything off. Wide swing. He had a 5th grade reading level, by the way, so I'm not really sure if he had like a vendetta against the books or something, but I swear it was hilarious. I look in the other direction, Jamie just clean jabs the monitor on the desk. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who these guys thought they were. They were watching way too much UFC back then. At the back of the library, there was an extra room where kids would go to get tutored, and I've never been there, so it was pretty exciting to see it for the first time. At the front of the room, there was a chalkboard with a tray, and on the tray was a fat bag of Jolly Ranchers, unopened by the way. Now, what does Jamie do? Does he A, ignore it and not mention it? B, take candy from the open candy bowl to the side? Or C, rip it open and take 3 handfuls and shove it into his pocket? Jamie was a tall guy. He had that tall skinny build and his hands were large. Those 3 handfuls were enough to leave like only 20 pieces left. Now, at first I was trying to stop him. I was telling him, nah bro, chill, come on. The librarian's a nice old lady, don't be messed up bro. But once that bag was open and I saw him siphon that candy out, I can't even lie to you, I had to grab some for myself. When we went back to the library the next day, he was saying stuff like, man, I feel bad for the librarian, bro. You know, I'm gonna pay her back the money for the Jolly Ranchers. And back then, that bag was worth around $8. You know, we're walking into the library again, and this time, instead of right hooking all the books off the shelves, he has this stern, serious look on his face, and he's pulling out his wallet, looking all cool. And then when we get to the desk, this guy drops $2 bills on her desk. What is she gonna do with that? Yo, I'm telling you, he genuinely thought he was moving like prime Mr. Beast, only to give her a quarterback of what was stolen. And on another day, Sumo was in the auditorium watching an NFL game on his phone, and then his team made a bad play. So what was the natural course of action after that? Take off his shoes and throw them at the exit sign, breaking it and knocking it clean off. To all you sports fans out there, there's no way your favorite team losing in a game is that serious. I know people who would let a loss ruin their entire weekend, and they gotta get back to work on Monday. Whatever, besides that, Sumo also dares Jamie to grab the fire extinguisher and spray it all over the hallway, which he did, and it made the place smell horrible and unbreathable. Base goes to the elementary gym, and he dunks on the rim so hard that it breaks. He ruined those kids' gym days, bro. I'd say by far the most diabolical thing to happen was when we walked into this one lady's classroom who everybody thought was so hot. Then Base, yeah I know, Base again, you know. Base walks up to her chair, sniffs the seat, and said that it smells like vanilla and lavender. You know what's crazy? He didn't even know what the word lavender meant, I swear. And I bet he doesn't know what it means today.
Yeah.
Yo, Base.
Yeah.
Do you know what lavender means?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
There's different meanings to it.
What is it? Like what is like the original lavender definition?
What, like the fucking definition from Google?
No, like what is lavender originally? Don't look anything up.
No, I'm gonna look it up.
No. Just don't look it up. Just like give me a guess.
I don't know, scent?
Then one day, Jamie got a personal phone call from the principal. All she said was, I need you and your friends to come to my office for a meeting. How'd she find out? What could have possibly happened that led her to find out it was specifically us? Well, around the time 10th grade started, they played football with the coach out on the field on a Saturday. They brought cleats and everything. And I actually went that day as well. So after the match was done, everybody left. The coach went home, I went home, but my friends had different plans. They wanted to go to the hangout spot, you know, why not? I just didn't feel like going that day. That was the day with the fire extinguisher and exit sign. The fire extinguisher and exit sign incidents aren't what led to the discovery though. Jamie. This guy, Jamie. He didn't show up to the football game in his cleats. He showed up in regular shoes, then changed into his cleats. So after the football match was over, he had 2 pairs of shoes. One on his feet and one he was carrying around while messing around at the school. He forgot those cleats in a classroom. The coach saw those cleats and immediately recognized them. The principal saw the diabolical stuff that happened in the school. And so then naturally the coach told her about the cleats he knew about. Now, once Jamie was confronted by the coach, what did he do? A, say he has no idea what he's talking about and the cleats aren't his. B, stand 10 toes down, take one for the team and not snitch. Or C, name off to the coach everybody who was there. No. That actually made me so mad. How are you gonna be the one to be irresponsible and forget, get caught, and then bring everybody down with you? So yeah, now they know who was there. They called us into the main office to have a meeting with the coach and the principal. Alright, it's the day of the meeting. Me, Jamie, Base, Adrian, Clark, and Sumo all walked in together. There were 2 officers talking to the principal when we walked in, but surprisingly, they left as soon as we entered. Then we went further into her own personal office. There was her desk at the back and a large oval table with multiple chairs. It was me and the rest of the friends, the principal, the coach, and this one lady which I really didn't understand being there. You know that one staff member or teacher in school who you don't even know what their job is? They just do stuff or whatever around the school. Like they don't teach a class or anything, but they have their own entire classroom. One of those teachers. I really hated her throughout my time in that middle school. Like she made me so mad. Whatever, we'll just call her staff member. So yeah, principal, coach, staff member. Coincidentally, that's also the staff member whose chair Base sniffed. Now the whole time the principal's trying to intimidate us, saying stuff like, I could have you guys in juvie. Do you guys want that? Your parents don't know how to raise you guys. That one actually pissed me off so much, like talking bad about my parents. Don't transfer the blame for my actions onto someone else. She then also proceeds to say one of the weirdest, dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. So me and Sumo live right next to each other, and she asks him, dead serious by the way, how would you feel if Extreme broke into your house and looked through your mom's clothes and private belongings? What? Are you dumb? You really just asked that question? Man, that one confused me so hard. It was just so weird and stupid. They even had pictures of the stuff we wrote on the chalkboards as if it was some crime scene, you know. They had a printed out picture of one of the chalkboards and it said, nobody cares, as if it was a dead body. Like, bro, calm down. Now, when they pulled up that picture and mentioned the exit sign, Base let out a little chuckle. And then the principal looked at him and said, was that funny? Am I supposed to be funny? Should I put my little clown face on? He sat there, looked at her and said, no, I'm sorry. This little interaction is important for later. And remember how Clark only used to go in the beginning when it was just basketball and swimming, and after that he stopped? Someone told the principal that, and the whole whole meeting, she was just glazing him, saying he's actually a good kid and we manipulated him to join us and it's our fault, we're horrible friends and all that. Bro, come on. Then the staff member said something that low-key made my heart drop. She said, yeah, we checked and saw you guys on the cameras. Now, in my 5 years of attending that school, I have never seen a single camera, so I wasn't sure whether to believe her or not. Because if they did have cameras, it would have actually been so over had they seen everything. So I raised my hand and I asked, where were the cameras? She yells and says, it doesn't matter where the cameras were. Alright, okay then, she's lying, whatever. Which is good, bro. I almost had a panic attack. The principal then has us call our parents one at a time and she asks us who wants to go first. You know, me being the alpha sigma male that I am, I raised my hand and I went first. I had to lead my pack. Pretty standard phone call, tell your parents what you did. Then she takes the phone and fearmongers you going to jail or whatever. Now, 3 of us had really interesting phone calls. When it was Clark's turn to go, his face was red and he had pretty pale skin, so you could really see it. He was on the phone and all he managed to say was, Mama, I broke into the school. And right there, he just started crying and he was covering his face with his shirt. He went back to his seat and gave the phone to the principal so she could speak for him. He had his head down on the table crying and all the adults felt bad for him because he was the quote-unquote good kid who was manipulated, yada yada, bro, whatever. Bro, Sumo was across the table from me and I swear to God he gave me this look. The amount of self-control I had to exert there to not laugh was actually out of this universe. I know if I let out even a decibel of noise, he would have started laughing too, then it would just snowball uncontrollably. By the way, Clark swears to this day that I was crying too and he saw my eyes watering, but I swear to God he's lying, I let nothing out. Alright, now it's Adrian's turn to call his mom. Now what happened here was also pretty interesting. He started crying too. His mom was on the phone yelling at him and freaking out, so he also just went back to his seat and started crying. The principal is there guilt tripping him. Is this how you want to make your mom feel, huh? Now, Base's phone call was actually pretty funny. His parents were out of the country and they were overseas. So the principal just had him call his oldest sibling, who was around 30 years old at the time. She called and talked to him first and gave him all the details, and then she gave the phone back to Base. Here, talk to him. Base takes the phone. Yo, hello, I broke into the school. Yeah, she just told me everything, you idiot. Oh, okay. You want to go to jail and ruin your life? No. Okay, bye, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. That's it, phone call over. Done. I swear that's how it went. Then they said that we have to decide our punishment. They said that they would step out of the room and give us time to discuss. I swear to you, on everything. As soon as the last person left the room and you heard that duh from the door closing, we all just started bursting out laughing. Even the ones who were crying. We made fun of Adrian and Clark for crying, joked about Base's phone call, all of it, just having a good time. And the principal didn't walk back in. I swear to this day I'm confused about that. When I say the second the door closed, I mean the second. Laughing out loud, but I guess they either couldn't hear us or they didn't care. We decided that I would be the spokesperson and that I should use big words to sound serious and smart. They returned to the room and they asked us what we decided on. I proceed to say, as a prerequisite to what I'm about to say, we are first really sorry for what we did, and it is a necessity that we prove it and make it up. So we think that we should do community service for the school. They accepted it, and the deal was that after every school day, we show up to the middle school and do 2 hours of cleaning for a month. Sumo and Clark would do their service at a different time since they had football coming up, so it was just me, Sumo, Adrian, and Jamie. However, community service didn't go the way they expected it to. For the first few days, we actually showed up and they gave us gloves and trash bags to pick up weeds and trash around the school. Then it started getting cold out, so they moved us to cleaning inside the school. We would meet with the head custodian and he would give us tasks to do. We always started in the basement. We would sweep, mop, and change the garbage for every room in the basement. Then we'd find him and he'll tell us what to do next. Usually wipe the glass on these doors here and there. Pretty basic. But man, I remember this one time we were wiping the doors, then this one kid asked us what we're doing, and this one teacher pulled him away and said, no, stay away from them, don't talk to them. Excuse me? She's treating us like convicted felons guilty of 14 different counts of murder and charges for producing drugs with intent to distribute to minors. Like, what? Calm down, bro. I hate her to this day for that. So yeah, for the first few days, we would actually try to honor our punishment, but they weren't actually keeping track of us or enforcing anything. One day, we started off as usual by cleaning up a few rooms in the basement, but once we got to this one tiny office, we would just lock the door, close the blinds, turn off the lights, and then just chill. There were some Gatorade bars in there, so yeah, those got eaten up, no questions. After like 30 minutes of hanging out, we would go upstairs to one of the exit doors, look around, and when the coast was clear, just bolt it, running out, hopping through fences, getting out of line of sight, and then we all just walk home. One day when we were chilling in the office with the lights off, we used our phone flashlights as discos, and we got on the table dancing one at a time, and then when Bass got on, I nudged him a little bit just to scare him, but then he fell. My bad, it was an accident, I'm sorry. This guy picks up a chair and throws it at me. Idiot. It was a small room, so I could barely dodge it, and it hit me a little bit. I was kind of upset about it, but I guess it was my fault. Now this part is crazy. One day as we were getting ready to start cleaning, an older lady stopped us in the hallway and asked us what we were doing. Now we told her we were doing community service to get credits or whatever, all that, just capping, right? Then she asks us if we heard about what happened with the whole people breaking into the school and vandalizing it. We acted stupid, acting like we didn't know what was going on. Oh wow, really? That happened? Man, that's horrible. People don't know how to act. Did they do anything crazy? Now here's the best part. This is what she tells us. Yeah, they even went in my room and stole some of my Jolly Ranchers that I passed out to the kids. Bro, the neuron activation when she said Jolly Ranchers was actually insane. While she was talking to Jamie, I swear to you, Base gave me this look. Adrian saw the look and he let out a little chuckle, and then I elbow tapped him to try to get him to stop. But honestly, she probably knew, I'm not gonna lie, she knew it was us. And another time, as we were running away, I was ahead of everybody else. I saw a fence gate, and to me, it looked locked, so I decided to hop it. Once I got on the gate, it started swinging open slowly because it turns out it was actually open. So since it's swinging slowly, I decided to be careful and slow with me getting down. This idiot Base yells at me, "Bro, what are you doing?" Then he shoves the fence gate open and I almost fall. Man, bro, that made me so mad. And that was basically it. We would show up and do stuff for 15 minutes, chill in this little office for half an hour, then run home. They were getting nothing from us. After our term ended, the principal for some stupid reason wanted to have a second meeting. You know, we were annoyed and found it stupid, but whatever, we'll do it and get it over with. Alright, so we're in the office, it's quiet. She asks us, "What is this? This is supposed to be a meeting and you guys are silent like mules? Do you guys know what a mule is?" So I raised my hand and I'm honestly about to say, when you mix a male donkey and a female horse. But she didn't actually wait for my response. She just went ahead and said it's someone who doesn't know what to say or doesn't talk or whatever. She was deadass upset at us for not thanking her for being so nice to us, for getting us out of juvie or whatever. You guys aren't saying thank you that I gave you a second chance and saw the good in you? Man, I can't stand this lady, bro. Man, whatever, she was always weird. Now, remember when the principal caught Base laughing and asked if she should put her clown face on during the last meeting? Well, that kind of annoyed him, and he swore up and down that this time he's gonna laugh, and if she asks him, "Was that funny or should I put my clown face on?" he's gonna look her dead in the eye and say, "Yeah." You know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, damn, Base, you know, you're really about it, bro. Alright, let's get it. We planned for him to have an excuse to laugh, so I made my ringtone a dumb sound effect and told my other friend to call me in a few minutes so it can go off mid-meeting. Alright, we're in the office. It's time to commence the operation. You know, the time is coming for the phone call to ring. There it is. My phone rings. And Base is just sitting there straight-faced doing nothing. Man, I looked so stupid, bro. I didn't even know why I expected anything out of him. The staff member also pointed out the fact that they know we used big words last time on purpose. What do you think? I have stupid written on my forehead? First of all, her forehead was big as hell. And secondly, yeah, I do think you're stupid. The community service we did wasn't even real. You guys got snaked. Sumo and Clark never actually came back to do their terms when football ended, but it was whatever. Nobody cared. And that right there was the end of the story. Jamie and Adrian left the group after a little bit. Me, Base, Sumo, and Clark were still together with the rest of the extended friend group that Jamie and Adrian weren't a part of. Clark then moved houses and he proceeded to fall off. Base also moved, but he didn't fall off for long. He actually stayed, but then he eventually fell off too. And now it's just me and Sumo and the extended friend group. Once again, I cannot stress how much it means that you watch this video until the very end. I'm eternally grateful. Comment anything you wanted to say about the story, and I'm really curious to hear about your thoughts. No, you're supposed to go to the middle. Are you ready? I'm about to change it. No, wait. Okay.
What?
Okay, wait. No. You're supposed to wait till the middle turns green. So wait till we do it at the same time. You ready? When I say go, go. Okay, on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, 3. No. Oh my god.
I thought we had a rhythm, bruh.
Alright, wait. I'm gonna count. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Wait.
I swear, no, that time.